Beauty has become a battlefield where we fight invisible wars every single day. And what if I told you that one makeup brand is turning every lipstick purchase into a weapon against that struggle? If you care about what really matters beneath the surface, you need to hear this story because it might just change how you see your next beauty purchase. Forever. And if you want to stay updated on stories that actually make a difference, hit that subscribe button right now. Selena Gomez launched Rare Beauty in 2020, but this was never about selling another eyeshadow palette or foundation shade. This was personal. This was about a woman who had stood under the harshest lights in the world, who had been dissected by millions of strangers, who had battled her own mental health demons while the world watched and commented and judged. She knew what it felt like to be told you were not enough. To look in the mirror and see only flaws, to carry the weight of expectation until it crushed you. So, she built something different. She built a brand that said, "Your imperfections are not problems to fix, but parts of you to celebrate." She created products that were not about hiding, but about revealing, not about conforming, but about expressing. Every item in the Rare Beauty line carries that message, whispering to its user that they are already complete, already worthy, already beautiful. Exactly. As they are. But Gomez did not stop at products. She understood that beauty and mental health are inseparable. That the way we talk to ourselves in front of the mirror affects everything else in our lives. That is why she established the Rare Impact Fund, committing to raise $100 million by 2030, specifically for mental health services and education for young people. Think about that number for a moment. $100 million dedicated to helping kids and teenagers access therapy, counseling, and mental health education. This is not a side project or a publicity stunt. This is a long-term commitment to fundamentally change how young people around the world can access the support they desperately need. Now, we are in 2025, and the Make a Rare Impact campaign is entering its third year, stronger and bigger than ever before. The partnership between Sephora and Rare Beauty has become a model for what corporate responsibility can look like when it is done with genuine intention. From October 10th through October 12th, in recognition of World Mental Health Day, every single cent from sales of the new Rare Beauty fragrance collection goes directly to the Rare Impact Fund. Not a percentage, not a portion, 100%. When you walk into a Sephora store during those 3 days and purchase a Rare Beauty fragrance, you are not just buying a product. You are directly funding therapy sessions for teenagers who cannot afford them. You are supporting educational programs that teach young people how to recognize and manage their mental health challenges. You are contributing to a global network of organizations working on the ground in communities that have been overlooked and underserved. The scale of this campaign is breathtaking. It spans 25 international markets reaching from the elegant boutiques of Paris to the bustling malls of Mumbai, from the sunny coasts of Australia to the vibrant streets of Sao Paulo. Sephora stores across Europe, throughout the United States, including Sephora at Co's locations and extending into Brazil, India, Australia, and New Zealand, are all participating. This is not a regional effort. This is a global movement that recognizes mental health does not respect borders or boundaries. A teenager in New Delhi faces similar struggles as one in New York or Sydney. The pressure to be perfect, the anxiety about the future, the depression that can settle in like a heavy fog. These experiences are universal even if the cultural contexts differ. What makes the Rare Impact Fund truly revolutionary is not just the money it raises, but where that money goes and how it is used. Since its establishment in 2020, the fund has already surpassed $20 million and has supported 30 organizations across 5 continents. These are not random grants thrown at problems. These are strategic partnerships with organizations that are already doing the hard work on the ground, that understand their communities, that have proven track records of creating real change. The fund supports school-based mental health programs that bring counselors and therapists directly into educational settings where young people spend most of their time. It funds community centers that offer free or low-cost therapy sessions. It develops educational curricula that help teachers and parents recognize warning signs and know how to respond. It trains peer counselors who can provide support in ways that feel less intimidating than traditional therapy. Behind every dollar raised are real human stories. There is the 15-year-old girl in rural India who finally had access to counseling after experiencing trauma. There is the 17-year-old boy in Chicago who learned coping strategies for his anxiety through a school program funded by the Rare Impact Fund. There is the community health worker in a small town in Brazil who received training to provide basic mental health support in a place where psychiatrists and psychologists are scarce. These stories do not make headlines. They do not go viral on social media, but they represent lives fundamentally altered, futures redirected, hope restored. Sephora's involvement in this campaign reflects a broader evolution in how corporations think about their role in society. For decades, the beauty industry sold aspiration and insecurity in equal measure. It told people they needed to be thinner, younger, smoother, more symmetrical. It created problems and then sold solutions. But something has shifted. There is a growing recognition that beauty companies have enormous influence over how people, especially young people, see themselves. And that influence comes with responsibility. Deborah Ye, Sephora's global chief marketing officer, articulated this perfectly when she explained that the company believes beauty can positively contribute to mental well-being. This is a radical statement for a beauty retailer to make. It acknowledges that what they sell is not just products, but also messages, narratives, and possibilities. Sephora has spent years building a reputation around diversity and inclusion. Walk into any Sephora store and you will see foundation shades that span every skin tone. Marketing that features models of different ages, sizes, and abilities, and staff trained to make every customer feel welcomed regardless of who they are or what they look like. The partnership with Rare Beauty and the Make a Rare Impact campaign is a natural extension of that commitment. It says that inclusion is not just about what products are on the shelves, but also about recognizing the full humanity of customers, including their mental and emotional needs. The results speak for themselves. In 2024 alone, the donations from the Make a Rare Impact campaign reached over 2 million people. Think about that reach. 2 million individuals whose lives were touched in some way by this initiative. The campaign also helped develop more than 445 tools specifically designed to support mental health. These tools include apps that help young people track their moods and identify triggers, workbooks that guide them through cognitive behavioral therapy techniques, hotline services that provide immediate support during crisis, and training modules that help adults create mentally healthy environments for young people. What is particularly powerful about this campaign is how it transforms everyday consumer actions into collective care. We live in a world where we are constantly making purchases, often mindlessly scrolling through products and clicking buy without much thought about where our money goes or what it supports. The Make a Rare Impact campaign interrupts that pattern. It creates a direct line between a personal choice to buy a fragrance and a global impact on mental health access. It makes visible what is usually invisible, the ways our individual choices can contribute to larger systemic change when they are channeled through the right structures. The timing of this campaign centered around World Mental Health Day is also significant. Mental health has come out of the shadows in recent years with more public figures speaking openly about their struggles and more young people demanding better support systems. But awareness alone is not enough. We can talk about mental health all day long, but if young people cannot actually access affordable therapy, if schools do not have counselors, if communities lack resources, then the conversation remains hollow. The Make a Rare Impact campaign moves beyond awareness into action. It provides concrete resources that translate directly into services and support. There is something deeply beautiful about the circularity of this campaign. A brand built on the principle that beauty should make you feel good, not inadequate. Partnering with a retailer committed to inclusive beauty to fund mental health services that help people feel worthy and whole. The products themselves become symbols of a larger philosophy. When someone buys a Rare Beauty fragrance during the campaign period, they're not just acquiring something that smells nice. They are participating in a vision of what beauty can be when it is untangled from shame and judgment. When it is connected to care and compassion, when it is used as a tool for building people up rather than tearing them down. Selena Gomez has been remarkably transparent about her own mental health journey, discussing her diagnosis of bipolar disorder, her experiences with anxiety and depression, and the therapy and treatment that have helped her. That transparency is itself a form of activism. When someone with her platform speaks openly about mental health, it gives permission to millions of others to do the same. To seek help without shame, to understand their struggles as medical conditions rather than personal failings. Rare Beauty and the Make a Rare Impact campaign are extensions of that transparency. They put resources where the rhetoric is. They back up the message that mental health matters with millions of dollars dedicated to making treatment accessible. The global nature of this campaign also challenges us to think about mental health as a universal human concern rather than something confined to certain countries or cultures. Mental health services are woefully inadequate almost everywhere, but the gaps are especially severe in lower-income countries and in marginalized communities within wealthier nations. The Rare Impact Fund support for organizations across 5 continents recognizes that mental health is a global issue requiring global solutions. A young person in Mumbai deserves the same access to quality mental health care as one in Manhattan. The current reality falls far short of that ideal, but campaigns like this are working to close the gap. As we look toward the 2030 goal of raising $100 million, it is worth considering what that kind of investment could accomplish. $100 million could train thousands of mental health professionals. It could establish hundreds of community mental health centers. It could develop comprehensive mental health curricula for schools in dozens of countries. It could fund research into more effective treatments and interventions. It could create peer support networks that span 74 continents. It could fundamentally alter the landscape of youth mental health, making support not a luxury for those who can afford it, but a basic right accessible to all. Every movement needs moments that crystallize its purpose and galvanized support. The Make a Rare Impact campaign, with its concentrated 3-day period of total donation and its 2-year window of time when their action can make the maximum impact. There is power in that focus. It transforms passive support into active participation. The fragrance collection at the center of this campaign is itself noteworthy. Rare Beauty has crafted scents that reflect the brand's overall philosophy, avoiding the traditional gendered marketing of perfumes and instead creating fragrances that invite personal interpretation and expression. These are not scents designed to attract others, but to make the wearer feel confident and authentic. Even the product design aligns with the larger mission, reminding us that beauty is about how we feel, not just how we appear to others. What happens after October 12 matters just as much as what happens during the campaign. The awareness raised, the conversation started, the connections made between beauty and mental health. These continue long after the specific donation period ends. People who participate in the campaign become more conscious consumers, more likely to think about the values behind the brands they support. They become part of a community that believes beauty should be a force for good, that commercial success and social responsibility are not mutually exclusive, that we can purchase products we enjoy while simultaneously supporting causes that matter. The partnership between Sephora and Rare Beauty demonstrates what is possible when a brand with a mission finds a retail partner willing to amplify that mission. Sephora is not just providing shelf space or marketing support. They are fully integrating the campaign into their operations, training staff to speak knowledgeably about the Rare Impact Fund, creating in-store displays that educate customers about mental health, and using their considerable platform to drive people to participate. This is corporate partnership at its best, where both entities benefit but the real winner is the cause itself. If you have watched this far, you understand that beauty is never just about appearance. It is about how we see ourselves, how we treat ourselves, and ultimately how we show up in the world. The Make a Rare Impact campaign recognizes that truth and builds on it, creating a pathway where our desire to feel beautiful can also help others find the mental health support they need to see their own worth. So consider participating during those 3 days in October, but more importantly, consider what it means to support brands that align their business with genuine social good. And if you found this story valuable, subscribe to this channel because we will keep bringing you stories about the people and organizations working to make the world a little bit better, one thoughtful action at a time.